East ahead.
To your left! You're not looking so good.
That'll show 'em. Careful with that thing. It's a mind of its own.
I never wanted to see something so bad. Here we go!
how you imprison a god. Patience.
We make a good squad.
East ahead.
company.
This is mine. Left leg. Time to grab.
I'll fix this.
Watch the left.
East ahead.
You won't get through this. Quick as a fox.
East ahead.
That was a close one.
after so long. You are so small. We questioned if you were real. Then steps. A voice. Through armies and corrupted soil. You persevered. Now, you are here. The rot. We feel it festering and spreading. What is it but an extension of our pain? Your dream scourge will end when our suffering does. We were innocent once. We woke, and we wanted nothing but connection. But the other gods imprisoned us, left us to suffer alone in this place. But you are here now. You found us, a sprout in the endless winter. There is little time. We would be freed from these bonds. The Strangler is close now. We feel her wire against our flesh. She begs for our blood. Her wolves defile the city on the shore. Blood on the tile. The people's cries ring in our ears. She pierces us now. Now we will not brook this. Not again. A spark. Wait. The essence bends here. Time flows into itself. You can reach her. Will the garden to open, it will take you there. Breathe. Focus. Shape the essence with your hands. We were everything. What have we lost? What multitudes could we contain? We could run, leap in the water, flourish in forgotten hills. We want nothing more than that. We mourn our past. We only seek peace now, a chance to regrow. We trust you. You who have been by our side for so long. You met death, and you offered your hand. And where is your mercy for us? You know we deserve better than this. Give us peace. We want a chance to change. We deserve that opportunity. Do you think we have learned nothing from you? We deserve more than this prison. Let us have a chance to rest. We want peace. Or do you have no more mercy for us than you did for the bear? Yes, we have seen what you do to those you call monsters. We asked what you would do with an animal that sickened after a fight. Do you remember what you said? More than anything, that is what we desire too. Treat us as you would the bear. Clean our wounds, heal us. Grant us the same. The time has come for you to act. End our pain, and the dream scourge will cease. Give us peace. It is all we have wanted for so long. Center your thoughts. Reach for us. Clear the fog. Tear down the gates. We were so blind, so lost. We brought such horrors to this place. We feel bright. We had forgotten what it is to live. We will grow. Tend, flower. We will always remember this. We will remember you when you are ash and soil and mulch.
Andra's depths.
It's paradise. But what happened here?
Are we back in Dawnshore? Already?
This is Sapadal's doing. I'm certain of it. No power in Aora could transport us so quickly, or so far. What happened to the living land started long ago, and we're going to finish it.
Are you seeing this? I don't think Paradise looked like this when we left it.
Looks like the war already started, and the giant roots are winning.
Marius, vines don't usually get that big this quickly, do they?
Based on their growth and size, I'd say we've been gone 2 or 3 weeks.
For once, I wish I wasn't. Who knows if the garden affected time, or merely our perception of time? Assuming there's even a difference.
It's like how a body fights an infection. The fever gives you strange dreams that feel like an eternity.
Look at this place. Feels like we're still in the dream. And not just us. Those are more your people's ships in the harbor, and steel Garrote banners past the barricades. That can't be good.
Even Reingrim is here. Perhaps we'll get to see an Archmage in action.
I think I see Elia as well. What a strange reunion this will be.
The Blessed Wardens are here too. That conflict we've been trying so hard to prevent started without us.
Always better than the reverse.
The Steel Garrote have been itching for a fight this whole time. This would have happened with or without us.
Before we go, what happened back there with the Dream Scourge and Sapadal?
I'm not sure. That's good, right?
It's a relief that the Dream Scourge won't be a problem. I only hope we can say the same about Sapadal. Time will tell, I suppose.
After all this time, they're free. And the living land is free to heal.
We've cured the land, and we've even freed a caged god. All in all, rather a successful day.
Hill and God entwine. The flower shades the soil in which it grows.
We should take a look. See if we can get ahead of whatever storm is brewing down there.
People seem to be gathering west of here. Whatever's happening, let's be a part of it.
The Garrote, look what they've done to Paradise. They marched in with no warning. I couldn't think. I just ran.
Easy. You're here now. Where did they come from?
Envoy! What does the Garrote think they're doing? What's the point of exploring if you just want to plant your flag everywhere? They broke some glass, but the map is safe. They didn't think I was worth the trouble.
Right now, that's a good thing.
If you're looking for survivors, a few of us fled to the Balrog.
How many?
I'm not sure. I saw Sapiento. Gods, I hope they're not trapped in there. I am sorry I can't be more help. You always were a forgiving friend.
We should move. Let's hope the Garrote hasn't made it to the Balrog yet.
Envoy, wait! Before you go, I may have something for you. I took some supplies when I ran. If you think they'll help, they're yours. I'll even give you a discount. You know, for saving the city and everything.
Oh, Envoy. How good to see you here as we stand together at the brink of this historic event. I don't know if thank you is precisely what I want to say, but I am grateful to you for bringing Dolna's theft to light. Paradise burns from the torches of the Steel Garrote. The people of the Living Lands stand ready to defend their home. I have no doubt that this will be only another chapter for you. But nevertheless, whatever the outcome of the upcoming battle, do not forget us. I fear that more than our deaths. If Adir and the Steel Garrote have their way, they'll strip the history books of any mention of our culture and our ways. Future generations will only ever know us as an appendage of the Empire. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope so, Envoy. I truly do. That's as much as I'll say. You have a role in deciding what happens next. Do the right thing, Envoy. Let history remember you for the correct reasons.
Snow? Why is there snow here?
It's gotta be Ringgrim's work. I heard she made it snow in Shatterscarp.
A familiar face. We meet again, Envoy. Paradise burns, thanks to Ludwine and the Steel Garrote laying siege to it. But the Dream Scourge is gone.
It wouldn't be the first time she's come back.
It's remarkable how hard you mortals fight for causes that'll be forgotten within centuries. Still, I do think the world has been irrevocably, if minimally, changed by your actions. Perhaps a new god being set loose on the world is certain to have consequences. Mostly, I'm curious about whether you think you've made the right choice. Ah, that mortal zeal. Always so fun. We will see if you're correct. I am interested in seeing the outcome of your story, Envoy. With luck, it won't end with you also on fire. Unfortunately, you'll likely be dead the next time I return to the Living Lands. Goodbye, Envoy. And Yardsley, I do look forward to when all of this is done. I am eager to work with you.
Oh, yes. We'll, discuss that later.
Giata! Envoy, I knew you'd show up eventually.
It's good to see a familiar face. How are you?
My revenants were very happy in Paradise until the Steel Garrote stepped out of line. When I heard tensions were brewing, I thought to myself, this is a job for the undead. So I gathered the flock. Likewise, I'll keep them on a tight leash, just in case the Steel Garrote breach our defenses. Better to have them and not need them. Oh, and I've been meaning to thank you. Whatever you did in the garden seems to have worked. My revenants are docile again. No more rude displays of aggression. I couldn't be more proud. Indeed, the metaphysical currents of the Living Lands are beginning to settle. Best of luck out there. And don't worry about a thing. My flock will keep us safe and secure.
Thank you, Elia. My compliments to the flock, as always.
I wasn't worried until she said that. Let's get out of here.
We know you. Did you help us? We must have seen you in a dream. Fidelio sang for us. We must help him. Adelaro. Does he fight for us? Why do we think of this name?
Do you think she'll ever... Never mind. She's stable. That's what counts.
Polska Sagrada.
As prepared as he'll ever be.
Who knows? Maybe all this will make a hero out of him. If anyone knows how to deal with those damned roots, it's us.
I can do this. I have to do this.
If you're wounded, find a place to lie down. Someone will get to you before you bleed out. If I seem distracted, I apologize. I'm tending to the fallen, as you can see. Believe it or not, we have more than enough supplies. The Clavager knew this day might come. Unfortunately, my hands are full with the dying and the dead, and there's too many of both. If I don't get any sleep, I might be the next casualty. I see you've done this before. Very well. I'll assign priorities to the wounded, and the gods will sort the dying. Thank you, Envoy.
You're a born commander, Envoy.
So, here we are. The first and last battle for the living lands. If the Garden didn't kill us, I don't think anything can. Metaphysically, the battle is already over. Sapadal is free, and the Dream Scourge is gone. But politically, we have a small mess to tidy up. I intend to send a message to the Steel Garrote, and it won't be subtle. Anyway, Who knows what tomorrow will bring? So let's be grateful for today. You've earned a little peace of mind. Get some rest then. Let me take the first watch. Besides, I need to tinker on the phantasmal focus. Make sure it's ready for war. Don't stay up too late. Not before I've done some reading. Marius.
There you are, Envoy. You ready for this? Understood. Same here. I guess it helps we have a god on our side, right? I mean, a god beats a skeleton knight any day. This is just cleanup. Just figuring out who controls the living lands from here out. Someone once told me that war is just applied politics. Never really understood what that meant. Anyway, you should get some rest. Oh, if you need to rehearse any speeches or whatever, make sure you do it in front of someone else. I promise you I've heard it. Talk to you later, Envoy.
We should take a moment to acknowledge what happened back there. You liberated the god of the living lands. Now they are unchained, free to do whatever they want. That's quite a gamble you made. I admire your confidence. If not for you, Sapadal would still be pacing their cage like a wild animal. Which means you have leverage over a god. How do you plan on using it? You're probably better off then. Sapadal's imprisonment shaped this island. Now that everything's changed, I'm curious what will happen. We cannot know if the living lands will normalize or destabilize as a result of our actions. For better or worse, change is inevitable. Maybe you'll find some comfort in prayer, now that one of the gods is listening. I hope you don't mind me bringing it up. The subject matter is a bit much for our little camp. You're too kind. I want you to know this has been an unforgettable experience. Wherever we go from here, I'm grateful to have been a part of it. Until next time. Until next time. Yatsli, have you ever seen a ghost?
Not nearly as many as I'd like, with how often I'm in abandoned ruins. Why do you ask, darling? Oh, are you trying to collect ghost stories from everyone?
No, good blessed a question.
Everything your people have done, you have the gall to offer us terms of surrender?
It's not surrender. I'm offering you a seat at the
Envoy,
table, Governor.
didn't think I'd be
All of
seeing you again.
But we should
From
only
one
choose
battlefield to another, eh? Dream
Only get to
thralls
make
and
this
now
decision
this.
once.
Ludwig's a loose cannon, and the steel garrote don't answer to anyone but her.
How desperate do you
This
think
place
we are?
won't be safe
You
for
might as well
adherents
hand
for
us a
decades.
declaration of war.
Even if she wins.
Strong words for weak
Gods help us
stomachs,
all.
I think. No one wants to be the one who just...
Envoy? Is it really you?
Mihala told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god?
When you didn't return, we took you for dead.
Did you meet your god there? The one whose marks you bear?
The origin of the Dream Scourge? It was the act of a god this whole time?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak.
It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
Sapadal was responsible for the Dream Scourge. Their rage, their confusion, their fear.
But the plague isn't over. Dreamthrall still litter Shatterscarp.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the Dream Scourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process. The Dream Scourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. I found that a quick fix is often anything but. What of this god, then? What does it mean that you freed them?
Wodka no doubt saw Sapadal as a threat to her authority. So, she killed the godless and imprisoned their god.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the roots tearing apart Paradise? They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege tower.
We were no stranger to them in Fior Mesiverno. They harrowed our fields, tore our homes in half.
We saw similar destruction at Nakuku Bell. If these roots and the Dream Scourge are the work of a god, and the gods thought it best to imprison this god, how could you let such a creature go free?
Altruism is fertile ground for folly, I've found.
First he still Garot, now a rogue god. Is there no place safe from turmoil in all the living lands?
Sapadal's power ravaged my people. I don't know that I can ever trust it.
Keeping watch over Sapadal was a sacred task Nandru gave us when he left. For that reason alone, my wardens owe them their allegiance.
Well, whatever happens, I suppose we can't put the godling back in the bottle now. But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. The Steel Garrote have attacked Paradise. Inquisitor Ludwine has already joined the battle. She must have traveled like the wind to get here so fast.
You did. I kicked her corpse when you weren't looking. Just to be sure.
Well, she's seen better days, but you wouldn't know it judging by how she fights.
Ludwine's plowed through the militia like a knife through warm butter.
All right, let's keep the similes to ourselves.
A bit like you're being haunted, isn't it? Or cursed. But that's your affair. So long as her passion for Wodika lives, so too will her spirit.
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow. I have a theory about this. Let's talk at camp if you want to hear it. But I think we can kill her.
Oh, good. That will be easy.
It is not, I think, impossible. Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen. It was Ludwine who called for the attack.
I didn't hear an answer, Ambassador.
She and her Steel Garrote laid siege to the city, shortly after you beat her to the garden. The lawful settlement of a new Adirian colony, supposedly. Or the establishment of a Wodican state. She could win with a godlike in her ranks. Your presence would serve as a powerful endorsement. I don't think peace is her concern. Remember, she has an obligation to Wodica, a solemn oath. And neither the Steel Garrote nor the queen that was look kindly upon oathbreakers.
Because a victory here would discourage resistance elsewhere. The better question is, why didn't you stop her?
Excuse me? She's a 7-foot-tall skeleton powered by her devotion to the goddess of retribution. This isn't my fault.
Sure. Just blame the dead woman. Very mature.
Who else should I blame exactly? Our envoy, perhaps? For not stopping Ludwig and the Tusks?
You could start with blaming your own incompetence.
Ludwig's the muscle. I'm merely the personality. What was I supposed to do? Frown her into submission?
What good are you as a diplomat if you can't even keep your own beast under control?
The Inquisitor was so convinced the Living Lands would unite against Adir that she's nearly made it true. One people, one law, one true God. That's Ludwig's vision for the Living Lands. The Inquisitor answers only to Wodica. In attacking Paradise, she has dragged us all far beyond the bounds of the Emperor's desires. What passes between Ludwig and her men, or between Ludwig and the Emperor, for that matter, is not my affair. But if I had to guess, this was the alternative. I've answered your questions. Now I would like you, all of you, to answer mine. Ludwig has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room? Before you face Ludwig, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Adir will come. Indeed, we are already here. Well, don't leave me in suspense. Oh, gods have mercy.
Solus and her wardens stand vigil with the Living Lands.
By grit and steel, Thirdborn stands with the Living Lands.
If this is what you all agree is best, the people of Fior stand with the Living Lands.
We deserve this opportunity. Thank you for believing in us.
Fighting a battle together is easy. I just hope everyone's willing to stick it out when it comes to the politics.
God, they made the right decision for once.
Finally, some sense permeates the proceedings.
On your head be the consequences. That leaves the matter of Ludwig and the Steel Garrote. She will never surrender, Envoy. You must kill her, or we will lose Paradise, and eventually the island.
The Living Lands will never be free until we break the chain around our necks. Ludwig must die her final death.
She better say her goodbyes while she can.
I'm proud to fight at your side, Envoy. One last time.
Let's get to work then. We've got a walking corpse to bury.
The Paradise militia will be at your back. Give her no quarter. The future waits for you.
You're more than worth it. Now go. No doubt the Inquisitor grows impatient for the hunt.
Show them that the Living Lands will not be broken across Vodika's knee.
Gather your forces and secure the eastern gate. From there, take back the main plaza. I have faith in you. Gods be with you, Envoy.
Let's take back the city together. Show the Steel Garrote how the Living Lands takes care of its own.
Time to stop the Steel Garrote. Lead the way, Envoy.
You should get some sleep. Big day coming up. Makes sense. It's a lot to think about. I've been in a lot of dangerous situations, but it's always been a fight to survive. It's just a fight. Putting my life on the line for someone else's cause. It's the opposite of survival. It's foolishness. You know, I've never seen a bear go to war. They fight for survival, not for causes. We're about to go out there and risk our lives for, what? A concept of how things ought to be? We might die, all to determine who sleeps in the nicest house in Paradise until the island decides it's time for a change. It's fine, really. But it's some blessed day Sokka when you think about it. Right. Careful you don't get stuck in all that sap. I'll be all right, Envoy. You go get some blessed day rest.
I'll keep watch. Get all the rest you need.
Can't sleep? Neither can I. We're going into battle for the soul of the living lands, rallying under the banners of the Paradise Militia. Your Emperor will not be pleased. Political influence is dangerous. If you aren't careful, it can turn against you. When a godlike fights in battle, people take note of which side. The Adirans will doubt your loyalty. The locals will doubt your commitment. You may even doubt yourself. This is the first time you were told to pick a side. And I fear it won't be the last. All we ask in return is that you do the same for us. From what I understand, your ambassador is very persuasive, very powerful, and very accustomed to getting his way. For a politician like him, losing a battle is not a defeat. It's an opportunity. When he promises you the world, don't listen. He'll fill your head with lies if you let him. I'm glad we understand each other. It's good to see you fighting for the misfits and rabble-rousers. Time for you to get some rest. We have a big day ahead of us. In truth, I'm not as worried as I used to be. I've been thinking about the Inquisitor. Formulating a theory, you might say. A Death Guard clings to their existence by force of will. Stubbornness, unfinished business, that sort of thing. Ludwig is held together by faith, and that may be her undoing. Faith is the foundation of her reality. Faith in the righteousness of the gods. But according to her faith, Sapadal should not exist. A new god independent of hers? Blasphemy. By that logic, you shouldn't exist either. And yet here you are. By staying alive, of course. You are the godlike of a heretical god. A contradiction to her reality. Can you imagine how much she needs you to die? Her entire worldview depends on it. Who knows? Maybe that uncertainty is enough to make her mortal again. Or maybe not. I'm just theorizing as I go. Whatever happens, I want to see it for myself. For the research. When I agreed to travel with you, I didn't think I'd find myself at the center of a political upheaval. So imagine my surprise when you gave the Living Lands a chance to unite, to prove itself, and to stand tall before its enemies. Granted, it was an uphill climb. The Dream Scourge exposed our weaknesses, our vulnerabilities. But thanks to our struggle, the island finally knows itself. Now we can decide who we want to become. I can't wait to see what we do with that freedom. Either way, the challenge is ours. No one can take it from us. But to answer your question, the future looks bright for a change. Is it really that obvious? No matter who wins or loses, the living lands won't be the same. In my heart, I know that's a good thing. Life is impossible without change, and change can be frightening. I just want to put this behind us. I want it to be over. What do you want to know? Neither can I. I never used to believe in destiny. Life always felt meaningless, like groping through the dark, but in a good way. All of that was before the garden. What are the odds that you and I meet? And after a series of mishaps, I learned the truth about my family's past? Once in a lifetime, at best. I don't know if that was destiny at work, but it feels significant somehow. Whatever you choose to call it, a coincidence like this does not happen every day. Let's appreciate it for what it is. Moments like this are few and far between. Pleasant dreams. I can't wait to give this... Who's next? Anyone? Let's finish this.
Here we go.
sharpshooter, Giada.
Let's get them!
Right flank!
I'll hang back and watch the gate.
That'll teach you!
Do we even know what we're doing here?
Just what everyone needs at the end. Someone to watch him die.
You're alive. How are you alive?
Barely holding on, really. I'll always thank the gods that we took down the mines and crippled the living land's resistance. Thank you, Envoy. I'm pleased the gods granted me the opportunity to serve Adia. On that note, I'm glad to see you. I can't believe, after everything we accomplished in Shatterscarp, that you would betray the Emperor. Why, Envoy? The Emperor isn't ideal. You won't stop us. Even if I'm food for worms. One way or another, these lands belong to Adir.
We were never going to go quietly, were we?
You're pretty impressive, Adiran. Kato is hard to convince.
What are you? Protect the envoy. On your right.
fighting's died down.
Can you not hear the screaming outside?
She's right. We can't go now. When? Should we...
I thought you left town weeks ago. Then it's a good thing we had a hero to spare. I saw a few on my way here. I imagine they've been waiting for this to happen for a long time. Listen, one of the Garot's units is scouting up ahead, maybe 5 strong. I wouldn't want to fight them if I were you. Take this key. It'll unlock the gate to the canals. You can thank the captain who forgot it. Why should I? It's always worked before. I wish someone had stood up to the Steel Garrote a long time ago. But, well, you're here now. That's what matters. Good luck.
Someone there. Found you.
Worry in the bush!
For our freedom!
Worry in the brush!
Show me what you got! See it in the eye! Stop right there!
Come on! Come on!
Dream with us!
What exactly do you think you're doing?
Liviana, don't you ever take a break?
You nearly died in my clinic. Correction, you did die. And now look at you, fighting the Steel Garrote. What have you got to say for yourself? That's the worst excuse I've ever heard, and believe me, I've heard it all. Kai, is this your doing?
Come on. I couldn't have kept him out of the action if I wanted to.
I knew you were a bad influence. We're patching up folks as best we can, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. War is a damn bloody mess. You'd know better than anyone. I can't say I approve of you leaping into the fray, but it's always nice catching up with a former patient. Wait a second. Jada? Jada Castell? What are you doing in the middle of this?
Surviving. It's good to see you, Liviana. Unfortunately, we're on a tight schedule. Do you need anything? Money? Supplies?
Once this is over, I could always use another pair of hands at the clinic. The invitation's still open.
Thank you, but I've decided to tough it out as an animancer. On my own terms. Can you manage without me?
Are you kidding? I'm happy for you. Besides, I've got Chico on bandage duty. I just wanted you to know there's a place here whenever you want it. Gods be with you, Envoy. For my sake, try not to die a second time.
Come on. You know this. You practiced with Uncle Capo 100 times. Tight? Not too tight. You don't want to cut off the blood flow.
Envoy, it's good to see you fighting on the right side of history. Out of curiosity, what turned you against the Steel Garrote? It's high time we explain that to a few people. You know the Steel Garrote a lot better than we do. Their coordination is damn impressive. Any advice? I'll send it down the line. Ready to make history whenever you are.
You're a natural commander.
Ease ahead. Ease ahead.
And stay down.
know how Adir feels about defectors. Watch yourself out there.
Wodaka demands your submission. Stand against her and fall!
That's Ludwig ahead. Lead on. I'm with you to the end.
There you are!
So, you survived the garden. Did you come all this way just to try your luck again? To kill me more efficiently than last time? So you say. But you can't kill me in a way that hasn't been tried already. I can't wait to prove you wrong. Silence, child. The adults are talking. Look around, Envoy. Heelguard should have listened. He tried to bring order through compromise. He failed. Order is meant to be imposed by a stern, guiding hand.
Her order wields sharp steel. She must set down her blade.
You can tell Wodaka yourself once we've sent you back to the wheel.
Don't insult my intelligence or my commitment to the cause. Treaties can be burned. The hands which shook over whatever deal you struck can be lopped off at the wrist. As for you, Sapadal's chains are broken, which means your soul is in their grasp. I don't know how deeply you've been compromised, Envoy. And if I don't know, then I cannot suffer you to live. Do not patronize me. I have every right to put down a threat to the Empire. Steel yourself, Envoy. Make this a fight to remember, even in death.
We would not welcome her death. There is still ample shade for her beneath our tree.
I certainly thought I knew you. It's amazing how a beating heart can affect one's judgment. But I don't know what you are now. Consider death my parting gift in recognition of our time together. I give you freely that which I can never have. Some things I will never understand.
I'm sorry, Envoy. There's no way this ends well.
Then join me in death. There's no coming back this time. Prepare yourself for the next world.
Let's finish this. Together.
Once I'm done killing you, you're gone. We are every seed in the soil. We will always grow.
This is what we
put in. Whoa! Queen among queens! Send me your aid! Wrong! The hunter soldiers are stripes!
East ahead!
Wherever Ludwine is now, she must be seething.
Of course, we'd be happy to kill her again, if needed.
She's done for, but we're not. Whatever's next, we'll face it. Together.
Gods, you're all gonna make me sick. But carry on.
Unraveled at last. We no longer feel her wire against our flesh. We are free always. We are free forever.
Silence falls over Paradise, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. You feel Sapadal close to your thoughts, stirring with interest. The god of the living lands is observing this moment, unfettered by confusion or fear. For the first time in centuries, they understand. The Paradise militia rallies to you, the outsider who defended them in their hour of need. Whatever happens next, you have won their confidence. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The Dream Scourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. You tell them the truth, how the plague came from a power beyond mortal understanding, and how it is finally at peace. Thanks to you, the Living Lands has escaped Adiran oppression. The free settlements unite under a common banner and begin the fraught process of negotiating new traditions and values. The Empire withdraws. The frontier remains wild, but not for long. Fugitives no more. The rebels of Paradis return to their home and to other free settlements, bringing their skills and secrets wherever needed. For once, they have a future. The Oracle Sargemus emerges from the Temple of Aethys, unburdened by any purpose but for the one you gave him. He sets out across the living lands in search of the sick, lost and grieving, and he gives them the comfort of fellowship where he can. When his energy flags, he recalls the compassion you extended him, and he returns to his work with renewed devotion. His new labors cannot fill the hole left by his god's passing from the world, but they give him succor during the long hours of the night. He dies alone in the Deerwood, beloved of no one, but remembered by all he knew. He does not forget you. The refugees of Emerald Stair find a cold welcome in the city of Paradis. Animancy is frowned upon, but their knowledge of agriculture is highly valued. The first bountiful harvest improves relations. The ashes of Fior Messiverno continue to smolder. Scavengers avoid the ruins, fearful of spirits unleashed by animancy gone awry. The once promising city is nothing but a cautionary tale. For the people of Shatterscarp, independence is bittersweet. Those who cannot withstand the grief inflicted by Ringgrim's spell leave the settlements, vanishing into the wilderness. Those who remain find themselves forced to cooperate with others, often begrudgingly. With so many dead, the need to stave off hunger outweighs any distaste for certain trading partners. Solace Keep clings to its long-held isolation at first. But after mourning her friend Kostya, Mihala reluctantly deigns to open the doors of the fortress. Some dwarves greet newcomers with glee. Others still mutter darkly about outsiders. Mihala flounders in her earliest negotiations with the rest of the living lands, but slowly learns compromise. She develops a taste for Valian sweets. For the first time in many years, Kai feels an agreeable restlessness. Not to flee, not to drift, but to venture. He visits the distant shores Tama told him about, and savors the modern marvels, ancient wonders, and breathtaking expanses he beholds. His heart swells, not with grief, but with awe. There is so much to discover, and he will spend his years chasing all of the joy and beauty the world has to offer him. With many of his anxieties and lifelong fears addressed, Marius now feels very differently than he did when he first met the envoy. Still far more comfortable in the wilds than among people, he nonetheless finds that his worries about the unknown were merely self-protection against the traumas of his childhood. Armed with this knowledge, he finds himself more capable of living in civilization, and far less fearful of his home in Galawain's tusks. While he never regains his former place as a Warden of Solace, he spends his time traveling between Solace and Thirdborn, acting as a stubborn ambassador between the two. Giada continues to improve as an animancer. She dedicates her work to the spiritual health of the living lands, nurturing instead of exploiting. Others follow her example, seeking her tutelage from lands far and wide. In the years to come, rumors spread of a secret society gathering in the wilderness, where animancers work in harmony with nature. The dream of Fior Messiverno lives on in her. In a past life, Yahtzee was given a task: protect the history and knowledge of the godless. Now, many lifetimes later, she continues upholding that oath. She moves into the library in the garden, spending her days poring over the clay tablets there. But not even the letters from, and rare visit to, her lover, help ease the loneliness that fills her days. Freed from torment for the first time in centuries, Soppadal turns their prodigious curiosity to the people that shaped them. They observe the ways their people live, and they think deeply about what they see. Though they flinch away from moments of violence, and they grieve souls returned to them too soon, the rage that once shook cities to rubble no longer rules them. Instead, they come to you with questions. They want to understand. After a time, they begin tentatively to garden. Where they can, they improve the lives of Kith, and the suffering that troubled them is reduced, if never fully eradicated. Their grief compels them to love, and they love unreservedly, with the power of a god. Soppadal has questions about what happens tomorrow, and the day after. You do your best to keep them calm, until the voice in your head is little more than a polite whisper. After everything you've been through, you don't mind the company. The sounds of celebration pull you out of reverie. Many are waiting to greet you with open arms. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.